Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin Hallett, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And this is Tea with Robin. On today's episode, I've got some things to say. Maybe you're going to love it. Maybe it's going to be heart-sparkling and heart-opening. Always my prayer that it helps us continue the journey. I have some inspiration to share, 3 good things, and we'll have a beautiful letter from #LoveCanBless from a friend who shares about her 10-year-old self. Come grab a cup of yum yum and meet me here. Well, hello there, gorgeous friend. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's me, Robin. And welcome back to the podcast, Tea with Robin. This is episode 105, also known as 105. So much love from my heart to yours, beautiful soul. This is a moment in time where we come together and do the work of, are you like, work? Wait, we're going to work? Yeah, hear me out. Do the work of staying present in our hearts, loving ourselves, and showing up for us. And sometimes that is work, because isn't it so much easier to just go around hating on yourself, thinking you're a loser? Isn't it though? So thank you for coming today. Thank you for being here. And if you're new around these lands, these magical lands, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. May this be a safe space for you to explore your own awesomeness. Yeah. So welcome back. How's the weather in your heart, my friend? Are you being sweet to you? Are you being honest about the fullness of who you truly are? Lately, number one husband has been saying to me, stop lying to me, Robin, when I say anything about like, can I just say that? Can that just be code for, the stuff where we want to trash ourselves and we're all tearful and worried? Can I just say that? He's like, stop lying to me. It's a little harsh, but you know what? Effective. So I'll just say to you, are you being honest about the fullness of who you truly are? Your own awesome, juju, beauty, light, your okayness? I hope so. I really, really do. Over here, it's a beautiful day. It is Saturday. It's Labor Day weekend. Jeff and I just had our 20th wedding anniversary. We got married on September 3rd, 2020. 20 years on 2020. We had the kids over last night, and I got one of those little wins where you're like, yes, I want to make it like a magical outdoor caravan tonight. And I just got out some Christmas lights and dug out the furniture that we never really unpacked this summer for the yard, and rearranged some things with the snip here and a there. How does that merry old land of Oz song go? I did some of that, and it was magical. The kids came, we ordered pizzas, we got s'mores, we did the first fire of the year. And may I say, I'm not exactly loving that it's 62 degrees here at night in the beginning of September, but I'm going with it. So it was lovely to have a fire. In fact, I lit the fire. I am the fire master in our house. And I only used a little bit of fire starter, I promise. Just a little, and I used the safe gel. So maybe a tablespoon. But OMG, because I have been throwing sticks, anything I find in the yard, old weeds, things like that, onto this pile, intending to have a bonfire. We were like Tom Hanks in Castaway, when in that scene where he's like, I have made fire. I have made fire. It was so big. The only thing I could think of is, I'm so glad I didn't string any Christmas lights over that expanse. We all had to back up, but it was fine. I mean, it's a big dugout pit with stones and everything. But just so nice, and just lovely. And, you know, when your kids stay, they're not like constantly looking at their watches, seeming to look for reasons to leave. Like they're enjoying themselves. So good. And we played the game 3 Reasons Why and 1 Reason About You. I don't know if you remember that, but stay tuned for today's inspiration. I'll share it again. We played that game with the kids, which was really sweet. And I just loved it. We talked about fun things, Assisi, our time together in Italy. It's amazing how that still, I don't know if you're sick of hearing me talk about it. It's amazing how long that still is here in our hearts. It's like a flower that keeps blossoming, you know? So super good. Big question, you know what comes next, don't you? Did you bring a cup of yum yum with you today, huh? I hope you did. I have this morning's coffee, a big old handful of ice, and some oat milk. I'm really enjoying the Oatly oat milk these days. Normally I like coconut milk, but this has been so delicious and creamy. Say it with me now, creamy. So cheers to you. Cheers to this moment. Cheers to us being here together in the heart space, which is nothing short of miraculous. Cheers. So good. And I'm even drinking it in a little mug I made myself in a pottery class. It's like a pinch pot. It's all wobbly, and I love the look of it. If you hold it the wrong way, stuff spills out the sides. It's perfect. It's so me. So friends, today I thought we'd have a little chit chat about the journey. I got some notes here. It's been, the last few episodes have been really special, and thank you if you've been listening. Thank you for that. Episode 103, I kind of had my own little meltdown and walked us through the practice together and talked about how we help ourselves. And episode 104, Number One Husband came on. I hope you enjoyed that one and shared about his own journey, and I shared about my journey, and how, in a way, like the topic was, how do we make it through? How do we stay strong in our moments, even though there are so many moments? And it's just, sometimes I feel like it would be easier to collapse than stay strong, you know? And as you awaken, I don't know about you, but as you awaken, as you make your way, as you're journeying in your life, you realize that at some point you have to stop allowing yourself to break down, to melt down, to check out, you know? I mean, I love taking to the couch and watching TV and eating bonbons as much as the next person. And I want to do that in a celebratory place now. I'm in this, I don't want to do it. And Robin, don't say any of that. It doesn't sound nice. People are going to think you're judging them. Actually, I'm not sure they will, because I think we all know this place. Maybe I'm going to have to leave that in. We all know this place where we check out because it's too hard to show up. And I am coming into a new space with this where I can be here for myself. I can be here for myself. I can hold my heart. I can love myself. I can talk to myself sweetly. Not beat up on me for how I'm feeling or how I'm doing, you know? It's different. But I'm saying it doesn't feel good anymore to check out because I can't handle it. So that's huge. That's really huge. And so I wanted to have a little chit chat today just about things. I'm loving morning magic. I don't know if you've had time to check out maybe a replay or if you've come live. Hi to the posse there, morning magicians. Hello. It's really evolving into a deep spiritual place of connection and reflection. And today's was, again, so beautiful. We talked about something we love about ourselves that hasn't always been easy to accept, that has been a struggle. And everybody had something powerful to share, really, really powerful. And the way we inspire each other is why that is a magic gathering. We inspire each other and we feel emboldened and encouraged. I hope that's how you feel about listening here, So today I shared about Rabi Sabi, my way of making things special around the house and reinventing broken things, and also celebrating my own uniqueness, my own unique spin on things, and how it's not like anybody else's. And you might have this too. This is why I'm telling you. I found a little right as I was sharing. We were celebrating. I was ringing the bell for people as they were sharing. I realized I carry some shame about this. Like I do it different, and maybe that's bad or weird or different or strange, or you're not like all the other horsies, you're a unicorn, so of course you're going to notice your difference. So it was a very healing thing to just, everybody I think felt a bit of vulnerability as they shared, and some people even received a reflection back from someone else. Hey, I see this about you. It's beautiful. So you may not realize. And before I say that, let me say you're invited. Morning Magic, it's a free gathering on Instagram. It's so funny how 6 months ago I started offering this because the pandemic was beginning and I didn't know. I think we all thought it would be over in a few weeks, initially. And let's just hang out together every day till it's over. Do you remember, if you're on Instagram, do you remember 6 months ago how many people were going live? It was almost overwhelming. I remember I had to turn off my live notifications because I couldn't read anything on Instagram without 10 things. No, so-and-so's going live, so-and-so's going live, so-and-so's going live with so-and-so, and it was just overwhelming, the sheer amount. And I remember thinking, I want to offer something to my friends, to my clients, who I also are my friends. I just say friends on the journey, but for the sake of clarity, the people I see for healing or normally see for healing, because overnight my practice had a big change. I think everybody felt that I don't even know. Let's not spend any money. I have no idea what's going to happen. So I was like, who am I to do these gatherings? Because everybody else is doing it, But I heard a voice in me that said, go do it. It's funny. I'm wearing the dress today that I had on the first time I appeared live on Instagram. And I'm somebody who never does stuff like that, really, never does live. Even when I was teaching classes or I would hold a Zoom healing circle, I would pay for the upgrade to turn off everyone else's camera because I was too freaked out to have to be face-to-face with everyone. That's just me being honest. I'm great one-on-one in healing sessions, as you may know. But I'm saying one to many has always freaked me out. So anyway, I hope this is interesting. So I went live in the dress I have on today, amidst all the sea of people, all the famous people, Marianne Williamson, Tabitha Brown, Gabrielle Bernstein. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to get into naming all the names. It's just going to stress me out. But the point is, who am I to be doing this? What am I to be doing this? But a voice in me said, go, do this. I still remember the 3 people who were there. And we started something. And you are invited. Okay? Again, you are part of this. You are part of us. You are invited. You are welcome. So I remember then several people were like, oh my God, that is so wonderful that you do this, but I'm not on Instagram. I don't do social media, And you know what? I'll just be really honest now. I've always been curious if that isn't code for something else. I'm too scared to cross the threshold. I'm too afraid to let it in, to be part of something. I'm nourishing my wounded self in a way that I'm not ready to step into the healing place of being loved, being welcomed, being celebrated. I'm saying that as one of the people who knows what that's like, because I did it forever. I can testify, it's probably 10 years in my own healing journey with healers and seeking, where I was more interested in staying disconnected and hurt. And, that's a necessary stage, actually. That's a necessary stage. And, do I sound like an a-hole totally yet? I'm just wondering. Don't let me know. If I do sound like an a-hole, please don't email me because I'm already thinking I do. Okay, but I started this conversation. But that's a necessary stage. If a person is feeling resistant and unable to receive and hurting but doesn't really want to come along, not ready. Like I said, that was me for so long. I just kept wanting to be in my upset. I didn't know any other way to be, actually. It's how I realized myself. It was all I had, in a way, to just go on and on about woe is me and how nobody gets it and nobody loves me and nobody supports me. It's a necessary stage. And the prayer is, at some point, we get so tired of our own BS, our own lamentations, I mean, no disrespect. And again, this is so totally me. If I do sound harsh, it's because, I need to forgive myself for looking back and feeling like I have wasted a lot of my time being resistant, That's a kindness. What I notice is some of those people in the last few weeks have just gotten Instagram accounts. I'm the only account they follow. Isn't that amazing? Like, that is a willingness. Finally, all this time, I've been going every day for 6 months now, and finally some of those people who write me with their, I wish I could join you, but, there's always another reason why not. And it's like, yeah, come hang out, come sit with us, come talk to us. Yeah, no, can't do it. They're coming now. They're receiving. And you know what? Shift is happening. So sometimes you have to find a way, and it's courageous, to stay present with yourself, to stay present with what you want, to stay present with your mission, to stay present with your wishes, to stay present and awake to your desire. Because if you just, like I said, take to the couch with your bonbons crying, that's as far as you're going to go. And that's okay if that's your choice. Really? I'm looking down at some bonbons right now. I actually have a breakfast tray here with 2 chocolate caramels and a piece of pizza. This could be, I think this better be the podcast logo or the album cover for this episode today so you can see it. It's okay. But not if you know it's an excuse, not if you know you're not showing up for yourself and it's causing hurt to your own heart. Then that's not okay. So may we make these courageous moves. May we stop. And I wonder for you, what story is it that you need to retire? You need to put it away. You need to stop telling it and allow yourself to take the hand that's offering help or offering life to you. Every day we're offered these opportunities to take the hand, to offer the yes instead of the habitual no. You know? So I wonder. And this brings me around to some of the feedback I've been getting over the last 2 episodes. And I'm not reading anything because I didn't write anybody for permission. And it matters to me, your privacy, honoring your energy, honoring your, I care about that the most. So I'll do my best to tell you these things anyway. So after I shared episode 103, be a friend, I think it's called Be a Friend to Yourself. I had spent a lot of time crying that week. I spent a lot of time really, really down. And, it's only been a few weeks, but I was coming through another place in my healing. I was coming through it. And I had several helpers and friends and midwives along the way. And several of you who listened to this podcast wrote me that you did pray for me, that you did offer assistance. And some of you wrote beautiful letters like, here's how you have helped me. So please know that. Like, it's okay. You're having some struggles and it's okay. Hang in there. Do it different, be original, let yourself see what wants to come next, because that was part of it as I was feeling really stuck in the podcast itself. So much love, and I thank you so much. I've tried to write each of you back by now. I hope I'm all caught up, but if I'm not, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Wow. What an experience of being vulnerable and allowing yourself to be helped. And I had 0 vulnerability hangovers from that. I didn't feel embarrassed or anything. Receiving those letters was a miracle, and it brought us a little closer, I think, in the posse too. There were some exceptions. And here's my disclaimer. I'm not saying this to be catty or mean. I'm saying this with a prayer, something I've wondered over the years that I've noticed this thing that happens, that people do. I've always wondered how to talk about this somewhere, some way, without alienating the person who wrote the letter. Because I do know how things are meant in love. I do know that people are doing their best. Of course, I'm not talking about the extremes. I'm talking about us, okay? I just always want to say that. We're doing the best we can. And every once in a while, our own unhealed edges reveal themselves in ways that the person is giving me advice that's really wounded advice, But it's meant from love. So I got several letters. And if you wrote one of these letters, that's what I'm saying. It's meant from love. I felt that. And also, it's a wounded edge. And we are here to heal our wounded edges, are we not? We want to come into the fullness of who we truly are. We must acknowledge, what if I'm wrong about this? what if I'm wrong about this? What if what I've always thought to be true is not the full picture? I feel like, gosh, what a skill to say, what if I'm wrong about this? In so many ways, it could be your best friend. So I received several letters like, Robin, first of all, you need a vacation. You need to take 2 weeks and go to the islands and get away from it all and come back to us renewed and refreshed and ready to begin again. And while I so appreciate that, here's the thing. A, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Where am I going to go? B, I have been impacted too financially. The last thing I'm going to do is spend 2 weeks on an island on vacation right now. That just feels like not a kindness to me. But C, and this is really the reason, this story that offering light and assistance to somebody, to the world, in a podcast, in Morning Magic. I write a weekly newsletter that I really love, Happy Mail to the Love Posse. This story that what I give out exhausts me is exhausting, and you can be drained and you can be harmed by helping other people, is a very deep story based in illusion of the ego. Now, I have never spoken out about this before. Again, if you wrote me one of these letters, I know it's coming from love. So please hear this and help yourself. If you're in that place of believing people can drain you, let's hear this in a new way. So for sure, if you're doing too many things and you are not replenishing, when you're not allowing yourself the time to rest and replenish and renew, for sure, you can get exhausted. But people don't exhaust you. You exhaust yourself. You exhaust yourself with your stories, with your belief system, with your illusions that people are draining, exhausting. The story that you can get burnt out and bad things will happen to you. Examine this closely and you might find a story. And I come from the Course in Miracles. I come from Muji, the teachings of Muji. I come from Byron Katie and my own sourced wisdom, my own connection with God. And I know there is a never-ending supply of light and love. And my love can only bless. And as I share my love with you here or wherever, it increases in me. Miracles are something that are, it says all expressions of love are maximal. And if I choose, I can receive the maximal expression of my own love. As I give it out, it comes to me. But only when I am not in my separated self. When I believe if I give, it means you take. If I take, it means you gave. And it means now I owe you. And this and that, we go back and forth. So that's one thing I want to just point out, that people don't exhaust you. You exhaust yourself with your stories and your energies. And that's not even to say people aren't exhausting, but we all have a responsibility to call it straight. If people are exhausting, you're allowing them to exhaust you with your agreement with that assessment. So it's called boundaries for a reason. Set a boundary. Save a life. I say this a lot here. You are strong. Hold the line. It is not a spiritual thing to be so nice that people take, and you have nothing left. That's not really a spiritual teaching. So that's one. Two, there's a few things I wanted to say about these lovely, well-meant, kind, I know, letters. I don't really ever get hate mail or mean letters. And if I do, I don't even open them. I see the first 3 words in the subject view, whatever you call that. I just delete them. So in case I lost the plot here, episode 103, I talked about stuff. I cried. I processed. I also did a great job taking us through the rules for decision, how it would work in an active upset, which I'm going to pat myself on the back right now. Yeah, I did great. And then I got some letters. I got some beautiful letters, and then I got some well-meant letters that were also kind of like, I would like to once and for all say why this is a problem. You know, I exhausted myself with the story that it's not good enough. What I'm doing needs to be structured. There's not enough time. I'm doing too many things. I don't know. And specifically, am I putting out too much content, as we call it, and not getting enough listens, eyeballs, reads, views? Okay? Am I making myself irrelevant because there's too much I'm sharing? And so people are ignoring it. Those were some of my concerns. You're not going to find that out by leaving for the islands for weeks at a time. The way you're going to find out what you're made of, what you're doing, who your people are, is by staying present. If you go away, if you hide away somewhere in a cabin because you can't face it, it's like, in a way, dumping the bucket on the fire you've begun to ignite. So I will always encourage you to show up and stay present versus check out and, leave. They call that deceleration, I think, online. So I don't agree, Take some time off. Why? Every day is a day to share light, to share joy, to share love with you. And it's the only thing I've ever been passionate about since I was in preschool. I've been shining a light. I've been connected to God. And if anything, I need to find the way, and I need the encouragers in my life who will tell me to keep going and encourage me to, hey, you don't have to edit so hard. It's okay if you say goofy things or you stammer or there's long air gaps. I need friends like that who say, hang in there. Just keep showing up as yourself. We'll help you figure this out. I love what you do. I need friends who take the time and say, I listened and it was good. You're doing good. Who take a moment to hit the like button and share a little comment or even share it on. I can't tell you how many people, and I'm glad that this happened so I could learn, but how many people who say they're my close friends who have never shared something I've offered on. And it's a weird thing. I feel a little vulnerable saying that out loud. Even though I know you creatives in the community, listen to my throat just like totally closed up. I know the creatives in our community are going to get what I just said there. It's hard. I'm all by myself in this freaking studio, and these things are still challenging, my friend. It's information for me, right? It's information for me. Or the people who write to tell me, I got some weird mail from friends, like, you should be talking about this and that, Well, It reminds me of that Teddy Roosevelt quote, or which Brene Brown made so popular. If somebody is in the ring doing the work like you, they're not the ones who say stuff like that, because they know what it takes to show up every day and do their jam. We know. And that's why we show up and encourage each other. That's why I come, I take time every day and read some of your posts and shine a light with you, because I get it. We're out there on the leading edge, so to speak, and we need our posse. We need our friends. So, in this moment, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to say some of these truths that I've wondered, how do I say it and not sound jaded? How do I say it and not sound bitter? We need to support each other to stay in, not check out. We need to support each other to hang in there and keep going, not quit. And again, it's important to have these tides, where the tide rolls out. Think of yourself as this tide where you're expanding and you're contracting. You're in this creative mode. And then you do need downtime to rest and renew and reflect. But that should be happening in a 24-hour period. It should be ongoing. And I never really got it fully. That I remember hearing an interview I'm not really into marketing or any of that, as you probably have guessed. But one guy I really love is Seth Godin, who talks a lot about when he takes vacation, he still works. And that's me too, but because I adore it. I love it. It's fun for me. So in your day, there should be this time where you're like the tide, you're in your creation. And when I say work, get creative with the word, okay? It doesn't equate to earning money sometimes, and that's perfect. We should stop doing that to ourselves, that it's only work if it earns money. Stop it. Your life's joy, what you love to do on a day in, day out basis, you'd even do it on vacation. Don't equate that to dollars. It's not good. We're abundant in ways that are beyond money, and we need to see that. Holy cow, the nuggets today, right? Whoa, I'm blowing my own mind here. So, in a day, there should be time where you're refreshing and renewing yourself. And that could be all the ways you love to do. Me, I'm cooking. I putter in the garden. Often I ride my bike. Sometimes I take a walk. Sometimes I go to the beach and swim, So I wonder at times when people write me letters like that and they equate, if I'm feeling stressed, I need to take a break. I wonder where that comes from. I mean, it's common wisdom or knowledge, or it's common advice. Take some time off. And I'm not knocking taking time. As you know, I take time off. I do. I take breaks, and then I don't do the podcast for a few weeks. I mean, that's fine. I'm talking about this story that just doesn't feel healthy, So for wherever that hits home today, I hope you'll take a look at some of your own stories and see, if it's something you love, it shouldn't be burning you out, but you need to make time and space for yourself. And one of the things I've always known about me is that I need vast amounts of time alone and on my own just to putter and do nothing. And I promise you every day I have that time. I make that time. I've arranged my work schedule that way. Morning magic that way. I do it at the perfect time in the day for me. So I still have lots of time in the morning for my study and practices if I wish. Afterwards, there's plenty of time, so just want to say thank you, and I'm good, and I appreciate it, and I hope that what I'm sharing helps you as well. Now, the last thing I wanted to say, and this is a little bit of the sticky point, and again, I feel the fear that people are going to be mad at me, but you know what? I'm going to remind myself of what I just said. The real friends who get it, know. And they're not interested in anything other than supporting me. And I for you as well, my friend, which is why I'm going to say this uncomfortable thing. A lot of people wrote and said, I sent you healing. I sent you Reiki. I sent you light. I know it is meant well. I know it is meant from love. I know that. And indeed, on the podcast on 103, I said, please, I welcome your prayers. Prayers are one thing, but to say that you sent somebody Reiki or hands-on healing, we can't do hands-on healing anymore, virtual healing, energetic healing. I feel like there's a permission there that needs to be sought first. I feel like there's a step there that is a bit too intimate and a bit too far without asking permission. And I would never, even if it's somebody that is my longtime client, I would never assume and send without asking. And so I will text, may I send some light? May I offer some light? I'm very curious about it. And, I was trained, I do not do Reiki. I studied at a different training initially, and now it's my own sourced healing. So where I studied really is irrelevant, but I went to Barbara Brennan, and we had ethical teachings. There were ethics we were asked to adhere to, just like therapy boundaries, the boundaries of psychotherapists use. And so never ever do we just send healing without asking permission. I have talked to so many people over the years who have cancer, who've had illness, who've had disaster, and they all remark that it's very uncomfortable when somebody writes and says, I sent you a healing. So I am not here to shame anyone or blame anyone, or I'm here to free us. I'm here to free us. A, your love, your light is not in question here. B, you are supposed to be helping your brother. That's in the Bible, your sister, that's in A Course in Miracles. The teachings of Paul Selig, they're all over that, the guides. I am my brother's keeper. But nowhere does it say, do it to your brother without asking permission. Because we are sovereign beings. We are our own people. And a teacher once said to our class an ethics teacher said, you always want to ask yourself, why am I doing this way? What's here for me? And that's why I'm very careful about confidentiality. I will never say or read or share something without permission. It's just because I care about you, and also because I understand I'm here to share love in the world, but I don't have to be so afraid of its scarcity that I just take liberties wherever because I don't know how to ask permission. I'm scared to hear the answer, So ask. I wonder if sometimes we don't ask because we know the answer already. So isn't that good information? You're intuitive. You know. What a freaking genius you are. You're not bad. You're not wrong. And I'll say this in support of you who sent healing, who sent all this, You are amazing, and your light deserves to be appreciated and respected by you. And I feel that you are called to offer your light. And if you were called to offer me that light, I thank you deeply for serving this purpose then, because I feel called to share this message. And sometimes you can't help how it's going to go, you know. This is a very important message. Oh my God, it's 44:44 on the recording right now. So I thank you no matter what. And I probably did thank you. And there were many of you. I'm not just saying like 2. I'm saying like 12 to 15. So please don't feel bad. I hope this helps you. May I offer some light? It took me a long time to get the courage. Like I say, I'm thinking of a friend now who, you know, she'll always say, you never have to ask, but I do. It matters to me. It also gives the other person the opportunity to take it in. Do you think about that? You know? Give somebody the opportunity to say, yes, I will receive. Plus, let's talk about the number of cuckoos and wackadoos we grew up with who took liberties that they didn't check out with us ahead of time. I think we're all a little freaked out by people who don't ask permission, you know? Yeah. So may that serve you today. I hope it does. I hope something in here really resonates for you. And I appreciate you taking the time to receive and listen. And, you know, like I say, if you see this post somewhere, I hope you'll share your thoughts. If you had an aha or a ha-ha about it, I hope that you will share. Let's have some more yummy coffee. So, inspiration today. Have you missed the inspiration section? I'd love to know. That was the last 2 times I kind of haven't been doing it, and I wondered if anybody has missed it. I wanted to share the inspiration today. 3 things, 3 reasons why, and 1 reason I love you this week. Jeff and I play this game. We talked about it in episode 62. It was the sacred relationship. We shared this in the inspiration section. Friday nights in our house are martini night. And, you know, we usually order in and make martinis. There's an air of celebration for a week completed. And we talk about 3 things I loved about this week. 3 things I loved about me, 3 things I loved that happened, 3 things I want to celebrate, 3 things I learned, whatever, 3 events. It can be anything you want. It's just to take the time to say 3 things that were special to you and have somebody else witness that and talk to you about that. And what you're really doing is giving yourself this opportunity to be important to yourself and to acknowledge your own goodness. You know what I'm saying? And then we say one thing I loved about you this week. So the other person listening will reflect something all on their own about something you did, something they remember about you in the week. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. We've been doing it for a number of years now. In this moment, I don't even remember how we got onto it. I'm sure it was one of my fun ideas. We played it on episode 62. I think we did it live. We did it live together there if you want to listen back. So last night we got together with our kids, number 1 kiddos, these 2 beautiful girls, and we were sitting by the fire, and I just thought, let's do this as a family. We'd never done it before. The kids don't live, they're all grown up now. You know, they don't live with us. So they're not really around for the Friday night ritual. And I'm sure there have been times where we all get together and we don't do it because it's a Jeff and me thing, you know? So we did it. We went around and the kids went first and Jeff went. it was really fun listening to them come up with things. And sure enough, I saw their faces. I saw the connections. One of the kids made a really positive connection about something she had shared. And I thought, this is it. Giving yourself the space to witness yourself, to celebrate yourself, to be in front of each other and share vulnerable things. They don't have to be vulnerable, but just even, how we were not always encouraged to be boastful, right? We feel like we're bragging. So we did it, and it was beautiful. And the reflections back were really sweet. One reason I loved you. I wasn't sure how it would go down with 4 of us, but I stayed out of that. I tried not to control it, and everybody spoke up. Somebody had something to offer to someone else. And I loved that. You might be one of those people, and I'm one of those people sometimes where you're like, oh, no, we could never do that. I could never do that with so-and-so. This is what I'm talking about today. Could we go back over the nevers and open up to maybe and possibly and yes? I'll leave you with that question, okay? And always I love to hear if you're doing it. Like I said, I share these posts online, and I'd love to hear. If you see it going by, I'd love to hear what your takeaways are. It makes me so happy. So friends, this is the part where I like to ask you to support the podcast. There's a number of ways. Financially, you can make a donation. You can buy me a cup of coffee, purchase a course or some artwork. Of course, I welcome that. And like I said before, we can't keep equating work with money. We have to equate the work we do, the healing work, our process, with such a bigger thing that money is not even enough. You know what I'm saying? So take something I shared today and offer it on. Help somebody else. Tell somebody about this work, this podcast, or morning magic. That would be so amazing. And always, you can share something to your stories, reshare something, or make a post, or hit the share button on Facebook. It all helps the people find who are already looking for something like this to find it. I'm a fan of the Course in Miracles, and there's a section called the Manual for Teachers. And you're a teacher, by the way. It's not about formally being recognized with a certificate or anything like that. It's not even about being in an employed position as a teacher. And it's also not even about somebody who read the entire book and can regurgitate all the words. What it means is you are somebody who is embodying these teachings. You're remembering something. Maybe you're remembering something I said, maybe something really struck home today, and you're going to remember that, and you're going to put it into practice. So you're learning what you're here to teach, and when you live it, you are teaching it. Does that make sense? It's so cool, isn't it? So in that manual for teachers, it says that there are students for every teacher. And that's where the quote comes from. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when the teacher is ready, the student appears. So all around, there are people looking for what you have to offer now. And there are people looking for what I have to offer now. And I feel it's like my sacred joy to share what you do on with others. And I hope you'll feel the same about what I create here as well. It's a sacred joy to share. If we fall into these places where we're insecure or we're jealous, we don't want to celebrate someone else's light, or sometimes people will say to me, I don't share because I don't want people to know I listen to stuff like this. That's fine. Just know That's an edge you're choosing to stay behind. And I wish so hard I wasn't talking about this after I asked you to support the podcast, because there's always this risk I'm totally sounding like I'm trying to guilt trip people. But this is such a valid point, you know? If we worry about the opinion of other people over our own, it's an edge, it's a place, it's a choice, and it's so limiting. Just, take what I'm saying and think about your life. It's so limiting when we do that, when we care about being teased or made fun of or whatever. What if Aunt Bertha sees me posting this on Facebook? Who cares about sharing the podcast on? I'm talking about real life here, You know what I mean? That you're embarrassed and choose to believe that people are going to make fun of you or think you're a weirdo is an edge you're choosing. You're pre-priming that pump. You're expecting an outcome in the future that you are in the present moment. You hear the dogs? We're expecting something bad to happen in the future, and so what we actually end up doing is changing our behavior in this now moment. This could be the best nugget of the whole podcast. So right now we're behaving in a way because our future story is telling us to do it. So this is the moment now. This is the only moment. And actually the future only exists in your head right now. And you could make up anything you wanted right now, actually. Magic, It's magic. I think the dogs in the neighborhood agree. So, all that to say, share the podcast, people. Share this on and share your friends. If you have friends who create, celebrate them. Celebrate them. I can't tell you enough how much jealousy and insecurity I help people with in a day, in a week of sessions. It's pretty big stuff. And it's just a sad thing to get stuck behind that stuff because it's not really about that. It's about our own worthiness and insecurity stories. So I personally, every day is my policy to serve somebody in that way, to celebrate them, to lift them. And if I can do it in secret, I will. But a lot of times, if you share their stuff, they know you did it, But what can you do to be a light to someone else? That's the great question. Okay, let's have some more tea. Or coffee, actually. So this week's letter. Have you missed the letters? I had a few weeks break from the letters. Have a good one to share with you this week. And this goes out to you, Bernadette. My friend Bernadette, who I love. I met Bernadette. Bernadette, when did I meet you? We've journeyed together. We've had healing sessions together. You've done so many courses with me. Lightworker Love. Remember when we did Businessy Alignment Love? Back in the day, you came on retreat with me in Portland. I remember you brought everybody a chocolate bar. You came with gifts ahead of time. Chocolate bars for everyone. And this beautiful salt crystal candle that I have here behind my desk. I put a light bulb in it and the light never goes out, Bernadette. So we had a healing circle last week or the week before, and Bernadette came and writes a beautiful thank you note right at the end and sends it on. Practicing your gratitude is a very important healing skill to have. So as I'm talking about this, just know that if the more you can express your gratitude, the greater your capacity to receive becomes. So those of you wanting to heal, those of you worried about money, that's okay if you are. Paying something forward is no joke. It's powerful medicine. So she wrote this letter, and of course I asked her permission, and she sent a beautiful, I'm going to just read it. I'm going to stop announcing it. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to stop announcing it. So she says, okay, my special, extraordinary friend, I am getting goosebumps writing this letter to you. First, thanks for always getting me and never ever giving up on me. I have never had a friend like you, ever. It would have been so fun playing with you as kids. I guess that's why I get to play with you now, magical woman. I'm writing this at 5:22 a.m. and guess who's been up since 3:33 a.m.? I love the numbers. 3 has been my favorite. I call my kiddos and I the 3 bears. 3 is strength. I was awakened by her. She wrote that in all capitals, and I don't know who her is. Let us find out. She has arrived because of you, my Robin. My notes from the healing session would occasionally flap. I thought it was my cat who is not really supposed to be in my room. But when I finally got up, no cat, just the paper occasionally flapping in the breeze. So I listened, and the divine came and moved my hand to write in my journal nonstop from 3:33 to 4:43 a.m. about all I needed to know. The notes from our last night's session, they stopped flapping while I was journaling. I went to bed in gratitude, ready to sleep, but then the paper started to flap again, so I listened to her, and she made me write on my laptop. I feel strongly that you need to read this because she wouldn't arrive in my life, and I would not be able to do the work I was born to do without your guidance all of these years. I hope what I wrote validates and encourages you during those days you feel apprehension and doubt, as we all do. Please continue to do what you do. It was the best gift ever to finally see her in all of her glory this morning. I believe this document will go in a book of some sort someday. I love you, my most special and treasured friend. Thank you for being the best teacher I have ever had. Love, your forever friend, Bernadette. First of all, what an amazing soul. And second of all, what a lovely way to be kind and gentle with that part of me that gets down. I loved how she said, I hope what I wrote validates and encourages you during those days you feel apprehension and doubt. I can take that in so well. So here's what she wrote. Are you curious? It is gorgeous. Bernadette, I remember when, before this was in her book. Okay, it's called My 10-Year-Old Self Showed Up Today. My 10-year-old self showed up today, and she is fierce, fiery, and powerfully potent. That is not the way I remembered her, but that is the way she came to me today. Today, August 28th, 2020, waking me up at 3:33 a.m. after my allowing as a result of a healing session from the great Robin Hallett. I feel like I should have a hat on. She taught me to work with my little one, inner child work, as it is called. It is so beautiful. I am beautiful. I never knew how beautiful I was. I am. I will forever be. I had to heal this little one first. The one the world rejected. The one the world dismissed. The one the world did not understand. I had to heal her first before she, the fierce, fiery, and powerfully potent one, was able to arrive, to be reborn, to show herself, her true, authentic self to me. I see her now. I feel her now. She stands tall and proud in front of me. She protects me from the distractions from the left and the right of me. She charges me forward. This is the first time I am ever writing about her because she has just recently arrived. I want to announce her coming to the world. Why? Because it is a birth, a true birth, the beginning of the last third of my life. I can feel her presence with me as I write this. She wants me to charge forward with the work that I was born to do. So I write to you about her here. I cannot be embarrassed by her, for if I deny her, I deny me. She arrived because I finally trust myself. I had lost the trust in myself when I was made to put her underground, putting her away in order to survive. Now it's time to thrive, to be fully alive, beyond the thrive. I am now fully alive. I love her. I am so very, very proud of her. She is wise and wonderful. I honor her. I want you to honor her. Not my version of her, but your version of her. If you acknowledge her, she will guide you. Promise. You have to listen to her. Really listen. Maybe it will be the nudge at first, and then turn to a whisper, then maybe a word which gets repeated louder and louder till more spill out, until you cannot shut them off. Messages you've been waiting to hear. And then you start to see the world outside of you starting to change. Gradually, or maybe suddenly. Each her is different. Each to their own rhythm and beat. Are you ready to listen to her? She is ready for you. Let's begin. That was Bernadette. My 10-year-old self showed up today. That is beautiful, my friend. I suppose just to honor this energy, the only thing I will say is this is the beauty that awaits us when we dare to step into the present and allow our magic to be. And I wonder what this will spark for you. And Bernadette, each of us has an energy signature that is palpable, even though you might just seem like a profile picture and a name online. Over time, as we reveal ourselves to one another, as we step forward to share our light, as we allow ourselves to be seen, as we presence ourselves, that energy can be felt, that palpable. That's why it's palpable. And your love can bless. And this is no small example of your love that blesses. And I thank you deeply for being willing. I had no doubt if I asked your permission to read this, you would say yes. And the sweetness of your light. I remember meeting you in person, and I still remember that day. And I beheld your beauty. You know what I mean? Wow. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So touching. And friends listening, if there's something you'd like to share in a letter or a topic I can share, write to me, hello@robinhallett.com. There's links below the podcast. If you click to the show notes, you'll be able to find me. And I say we leave it there. This was pretty groovy, this episode. Well, friends, as I said, it's a beautiful Saturday. Might be time to get on the bicycle and ride. I hope you loved this episode. I hope the weather in your heart continues to be good, and always know I'm here. And I'm sending love and a hug, and I'm going to see you next time or in a few minutes. This has been me, Robin. Behold the beauty in you, Hallett. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. is very short, let's make the very most of it. You are a precious gem and I love you. Do, 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 do. We are here to shine and shine bright. You are a gem and I love you. Do, 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 do. Life is precious and you are a spark of the divine. So shine like you know it, rock it like you mean it, 'cause you really, really mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it. Don't let crispy people tell you that you aren't sparkly, 'cause you are, 'cause you are, 'cause you are. Thank you. I like that. I love it, honey. Thank you. Give me a kiss. Thanks.